Alright guys, welcome back for another video on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and today we'll be doing a badge system guide. Now let's start off with how to actually obtain the badges. To get the badges actually is fairly straightforward. There will be a button on the badge screen, which is basically for forging. You can also get it from kind of the main homepage. If you click on this button, there's also the forge section. Once you click on it, there will be 3 different tabs of different rarity. The first one is going to be regular crafting. It will basically craft, if you do a 10 pool or multi, what's going to happen is that it will give you 10 different badges. They could be rare or superior. So I'm just going to call it blue or purple. And basically, it can be from all different kind of set. And also, there's no guarantee you'll be definitely getting a purple one. Now in the second tab, this is what is going to be the epic badges. So basically for this one, you will only be getting the purple one. And also the nice thing here is that you will actually be able to get a whole entire set, okay? So basically this should be vast majority of the time the preferred way of getting your badges, just to ensure you can actually get a full set for you to unlock all of the passive ability. Then the last tab, this is going to be the hardest one because it's requiring you to craft the legendary badges. Now, not only you're going to require 3 different types of currency, which the last one is already very hard to get, but the most important thing is actually that you also need actually a badge blueprint, which furthermore is going to be different for each type of badge you want to create. And also this right now is actually ridiculously hard to obtain. Now, right now for free-to-play, the most easier one to get, the easiest one to get is going to be Journal's one. However, this one is also kind of time gated. The way you can obtain that is that if you go into your shops in the World Boss shop, what's going to happen is that you are able to get the Journal's badge blueprint. Now the thing is, it's going to take you a very long time to actually get enough currency to just redeem one of them. And remember, you kind of want a whole set of 4 different badges as well. So this can be eventually achieved. However, expect to play kind of like a whole month or maybe even longer for you even to have a chance of actually collecting a whole set. Now, other than this, the other way to obtain, even though this is more going to be for the spenders, but still somewhat easy if you are a small spender, which is the you can get them via the monthly passes. Basically, what is going to happen is that when you actually buy the monthly passes, you're going to get this coin, which is the monthly pass token, and basically with that, you are then able to redeem for the blueprint. And this one actually have a few more choices here as well. You have both Journal's one, you have Kyochi's one, and you also have Jotaro's one. Okay, so there's 3 different blueprints you can choose from. But once again, this is going to require a bit of a time, which is the fact that you kind of need to wait for at least I think 24 days for you to actually collect enough, even if you buy both of the passes, in order to get enough for a whole set. Now there is actually a recently event which opened up, which can give you another way of getting them. Now, I personally wasn't even considering this till I was chatting with someone Discord earlier today. So shout out to I Slept. He actually gave me this idea. Well, to be honest, it's his idea in the first place. But basically, he actually played on the closed beta, and he was telling me that there's kind of, at least as of closed beta, there's no other way to really obtain those blueprints. And what that basically means that if you're completely free to play, which basically means that you are not even buying the monthly passes, this can be really difficult for you to get them. The only choice is going to be from the World Boss store, but we don't even know, first of all, how long that's going to refresh, and also whether or not you will add new badge blueprints over there as well. So the alternative that you can consider is actually going to this Jotaro's event. And if you go to the card flip section, if you actually get to 20 grand medals or grand prizes, what's going to happen is that you actually be able to collect a whole set of those 4 legendary badges. And whilst this is actually going to be really expensive, because if you actually want to guarantee pity, this is actually going to require 20k gems, which is almost like enough for 2 whole character dupes. So this is definitely very expensive. However, if you have to bear in mind, if you're completely free to play, you may not actually have any other choices to get Jotaro's badges for sure. Like, sure, even if it's going to be eventually added to the World Boss store, first of all, we don't know how long it's going to take. And second of all, let's say if you have already started on Jotaro's blueprint, you probably want to finish a whole set. And then in order to then get Jotaro's one, it's going to take you even longer. So even though this can be very expensive, but maybe for free-to-play, it might actually be one of the few only possible routes for you guys to actually get a badge without spending real life money. So this is also something for you guys to potentially consider. Now, I probably wouldn't actually suggest getting them straight away, purely because there's still 23 days left in this event. So potentially you are able to pick up a few more of those chips to actually see how lucky you get. And then the other thing is I also want to kind of see in the next 23 days whether or not they will be opening up any other ways to get those legendary badge blueprints. So this is definitely a very, very interesting strategy for free-to-play players to get legendary badges. But personally, I'll probably suggest you guys to still hold on till towards kind of the end of the event just to see how things pans out before you then actually deciding to go for it. But as a result, what that does require you to start saving gems from now on. Otherwise, even though there's still going to be another 23 days left, you still have to somehow able to farm up 20k gems. Okay, so you still need to start preparing now. Okay, so that's basically all of the different ways of how you can actually get the badges, including the hardest rarity, which is the legendary badges. Now, once you actually get the badges, what can you actually do with them? So the badges go into different rarity, and that also can then further be progressed into different stars. Okay, we'll just kind of level up to the next tier. Now, this can actually be done for every single type of badges. So even if you get the blue badges, which is the lowest rarity, you can actually also start them up. Okay, so in fact, if I just show you on someone, so let's go to Bucharati. What you can see here is that when you actually go into the badge section, you can see those blue badges, and you also have those kind of star icons next to it. When you first get it, it's just going to have one star next to it. However, you're then able to actually promote it to get the second star, to get the third star. And then what's going to happen is that it's going to require certain different things as we try to promote them. So for example, when there's only one star, in order to actually promote it to 2-star, you need another copy of the exact same thing. And that basically means it has to be from the same set, and those have to be for the same slot as well. So for example, this one, you can see an arrow pointing to the bottom right corner. You would need another one which will also have an arrow pointing to the bottom right corner. You need the two to be exact same position and exact same set for you to actually merge them to get the next one. Now, once you have it at 2-star, what's then going to require is now that you can actually promote it, but this time you just need to require any other 2-star badges as a promotion material. So it no longer needs to be, first of all, of the same position. It also doesn't even need to be of the same set. And the interesting thing here is that you can also use the blue badges instead. Okay, so you can see here there's literally two choices. One is going to be in this blue box, one is going to be in this purple box, and that just tells you you can use the blue badges as a way to actually promote a purple badge from 2-star to 3-star. So in case why you are wondering you can get absolutely loads of blue badges when obviously purple ones are better, that is kind of the reason why. Okay, you are using the blue badges in order to promote your purple badges. Now, once you actually have the purple badges to 3-star, what's then going to happen is that, let me show you someone I actually have at 3-star badges. So if you actually have it at 3-star badges and you want to further promote it, you can actually get it promoted again. However, this time around, it's going to require once again another exact same copy of the same set and also of the same position as well. Okay, so there's going to be, from 1-star to 2-star, you can actually from 1-star to 2-star, it requires the same position, same set. 2-star to 3-star, you're able to cheese it essentially with the blue badges. However, from 3-star onto the next tier of 1-star, what's then going to happen is that you are going to require dupe of the same set and also the same position again. Now, once you actually have something at 3-star, what you can then do is actually equip a gem to it. Now, the way you are going to get the gems is basically you actually have to decompose certain badges, and the badges, every single badge, if you actually take a look at them, let me just quickly show you the badges, like a whole gallery of all of the badges, sorry. If I go into the fortune section, I think that's probably easiest. If you go to any kind of badge gallery, what you can see is that for every single badge, there are going to be various different things you are able to get from it. So various different passive skills. Now, the first passive skill you're able to get it even at 1-star. The second passive skill you actually need to be at 2-star, so the badge at 2-star, and then 3-star you're able to unlock this legendary gem slot, and then once you promote from 3-star up onto the next tier with 1-star again, I'm just going to call it 4-star, it just makes it easier. What you're then going to unlock is this passive in the middle, which can actually goes up to massive bonus if you can actually get 6 of them together. Okay, so that's basically the way you progress. So at 1-star you only unlock the first skill, at 2-star you unlock unlock the bottom skill. 3rd star, you unlock the gem. 4th star, you unlock the bit in the middle. Okay, so that's basically the way it works. Now, in order to actually get the gems, you have to decompose a badge, and the skill that you'll be able to get is going to be the first skill for that badge. Okay, so once again, if I click on this, if I actually decompose Speedwagon's badge into gems, what's going to happen is that I am going to get a gem with this ability. And once again, if I can get 4 gems with the same ability, I'm then able to equip them and activate this effect. Okay, so let me just show you what how this works. If I pick a one character which I actually have, which is Bluefoot, if I go into the badges section, you can see here I have the Anubis badge. However, I also have gems on it. Now, I don't actually have 4 gems of the same thing, but I have 3 gems of the same, which is Flurry. And what's going to happen is that you're going to get this effect, which is only going to be activated when you have 3 of them. And then, because I don't have 4 of the same, I then end up equipping another gem, which is going to be slightly different. And that's kind of why for this one, I only have 1 out of 4. So only the very basic level of this gem. Okay, so this is basically the way you want to do it. Ideally, obviously, what you want to do is you actually want to decompose 4 of the same set so that you can also get a skill to its biggest level. And if you actually take a look at the progression for the skills, 4 set is a massive jump from 3 set. Okay, so as you can see here for this one, for 1 set to 2 sets, you're gonna get a 10% increase. From 2 to 3, it's a 20% increase. However, from 3 to 4, it's gonna be doubled again, a 40% increase. Okay, so you do definitely want to aim for 4 sets as much as possible. Now, in terms of how you actually want to choose the gems, or how you actually want to choose what badges you want to use, the easiest way is actually go to the character recommendation. So let me take JoJo's one as an example. Okay, so if I actually go to this one, and basically there's going to be this wheel button at the bottom right here. All right, if you click on it, it's going to show you the recommendation the game is going to tell you. Obviously, the first 2 are going to be legendary ones. We are not able to get them for free-to-play players as of right now, so you can probably ignore that. But then you can take a look at the recommended purple badges, and it's going to be very simple. The way you want to do it is probably you want to take the first recommended purple badge as the badge you actually want to use. Vast majority of the time, like I check like all of my characters, and like probably like 95% of the time they're correct. So you can just take it as a general rule of thumb. And then what you're going to do is that you will want to decompose the one which is showing on number 4 or number 5 or some of the other highly recommended purple badges. You want to decompose them, and when you decompose them, you're going to get their first skill. And because that is still going to be recommended for your character, just not the first choice, but it's still going to be a recommended skill. And that's basically how you can mix and match between your gems and also your badges